This County Board of Commissioners meeting is now in session. Honorable Mayor Jeff Mason preside.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. Thank you and welcome to our October meeting of the County Commission. Mr. Joey Nixon, would you lead us in prayer?
Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, Lord, and many blessings you brought us all. Thank you for bringing us all here safely tonight, Lord. Pray that you be with us and be a part of our meeting and help lead, guide, and direct us, and help us act in the way to be pleasing to you, Lord. Lord, pray that you be with the lost, the sick, all those in need, all those dealing with the loss of loved ones, Lord. That the military and their families see them home safe when we can, Lord. All these things we ask in your name. Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stacy, would you do our roll call, please?
Shannon Green,
Here.
Glenn Reese,
Here.
Terry Gibbons,
Here.
Billy Bass,
Here.
Greta Kirby. Here. Jason Stewart,
Here.
Jimmy Winfrey,
Here.
Daniel Fritz,
Here.
Dalton Haskell,
Here.
Shannon Beachy,
Here.
Erica Eagle. Here. Ron Schumate,
Here.
Ron Cowan,
Here.
Linda Nixon. Here. Colby McKinney,
Here.
Charles Kent,
Here.
Bill Reese,
Here.
Tommy Vane,
Here.
Joey Nixon,
Here.
Dennis Hackett, Dustin Dillahay,
Here.
David Gross,
Here.
Frank Woodard,
22. All right. Item number 5 is the approval of the minutes from the last County Commission meeting. Ms. Erica had found those.
Yeah, on page 5, it was discussing the wheel tax resolution. The first section there should be about the amendment to the motion. And then also my name was left off the list of people who voted no, commissioners who voted no. And the second section there should be the amendment resolution.
Any other additions or corrections? All right, we'll take a motion to approve those changes.
Motion to approve as corrected.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Frank? Oh, if you have a question, Frank, or just?
Second.
Oh, I already had a second. Thank you. All right. I have a motion second. Any discussion? No, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's R2. All right. We'll move on to item number 6, the announcements. I don't know how many of you know this, but Ms. Gladys Gibbs, the wife of former Commissioner Mr. Emmett Gibbs, is passed away, I believe, yesterday. Her funeral will be tomorrow. Visitation was tonight, was this afternoon until tonight. So she ended service on this court for many years. Ms. Erica, you do have a something you want to talk to us about real quick?
Yes. I just want to talk to y'all about our upcoming fall cleanup day for Keep Smith County Beautiful. I know a lot of you have participated in the past, which is great because anything we can do to keep litter off the roads in Smith County helps us as it costs county money. It is going to be next Monday, October 21st, while the schools are out on fall break. It begins at 9 a.m. at the Chamber of Commerce. There'll be a light breakfast provided. Gloves and safety vests will be provided to all volunteers, and a light lunch will be served at 1 p.m. It's a great thing to give back to your community. It's great for scouting troops, community service hours, 4-H service projects. So it's a family-friendly event. We typically pick up a lot of trash and usually get a good picture with it all. And it's good for the kids to get out there and give back. We also do some beautification projects. I think we're going to clean up some of the the beds around the courthouse and get the beds at the schools ready for the Plant a Promise, which the high schoolers do. They plant bulbs and promise not to do drugs, so. I'm gonna pass these around, and I would love for everybody to participate, so.
Hopefully it'll be warmer that day than it was Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah, it should be.
That was a cold day. And you don't realize with the trash on the side of the road till you start picking it up.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I know we have a couple, two, three from the youth leadership here tonight. If you would stand up and tell us your name, it would be greatly appreciated. And then if you want to, after the meeting, come up and I'll sign the book.
I'm Mackenzie Mason.
Hang on, you're late.
Well, I go to Mackenzie Mason and I go to Roseville High School. I'm Madison Miller and I go to Roseville High School also.
Thank y'all. Any other leadership, youth leadership, you need to get a book signed? All right. All right, the other announcement is you will find a resignation letter from Mr. Barbara Knapp. We will be posting ads for that replacement next week, and we thank Ms. Barbara for her service for many years. Item number 7 is amendments to the agenda or approval of the agenda. One thing on there is your committee appointments is not on this agenda, so we need to add those under B, appointments. So I would take a motion from someone to add those. So moved. Motion from second, someone, second, Shannon Green. All those in favor of adding that to the agenda? Opposed? All right. Also, Ms. Candy Key, in your note areas, you can strike her. She has already had her approval. Mark that one out. Are there any other amendment or approval, or any other amendments to the agenda? If not, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? We'll get 2 seconds. Moving on, item number 8, is there any old business? All right, we'll move on to number 9, the county mayor's report. Our Barrett Group audit has started. She has requested some documents from the state, and we're working to get her those, so excited to see what that brings. We did last week, a company came in, started looking at our lighting, our water system, and our HVACs, to kind of tell us where we at, what we need to do as far as maybe some cost efficiencies there, so that's be good. The CDBG grant, we put in for a tanker for the Central District Fire Department last year. Those were announced last week. We were not part of the ones that were approved. One of the things that hurts us, and it's not really, it's our median income kills our score when we go for these community development block grants. Our median income is higher than most, so that kind of knocks us out. And Jeff's tried for, this makes about probably the 3rd, 4th year in a row, you've tried several years for the ambulance, we tried for a tanker this year, and just usually the same reason, that's the one that kills us every time. But I do have asked for a meeting with some state level folks to discuss what our strategy should be going forward, and what we can do different to maybe apply for something different that may not change that. So those are, so we will continue working on that. Baker property update, we are still working with Tennessee Central. Once this project is approved by that board, we will bring whatever permissions we need back to this county commission to get your approval. We continue to work inside budgets and make sure money is spent on the correct items, and make sure documentation is kept to track our spending, and make sure we know where it goes. And that's all I have for my report. Daisy, if you want to talk to us about some financial reports.
Page 13 through 18 is your cash flow updated figures through September. Anybody have any questions about any of those? Page 19 through 24, I included a revenue, statement of revenue up through September, just give you a different way to maybe look at the cash flow specific to revenue. It has a month-to-date realized column along with year-to-date. It kind of, that month-to-date column would show you what we collected in September, and the year-to-date column would show you the total for the quarter. Of course, you'll get quarterly financial statements in November's meeting. I believe that's November's meeting, but they're normally in. Page 25 through 28, I kind of broke it down a little further, and this is a few things I haven't normally included, and y'all can give me feedback on what you do and don't want to see, but I figured if I can put it out there as many different ways that y'all, you know, it might, maybe everybody sees things a little different. Some people may like looking at that report, statement of revenue report. Some people may like looking at the cash flow reports. This is a revenue cash flow analysis, so it's kind of going to show you for each different revenue code in the general fund what we receive in collections each month. I just thought that might be a good way to show how we're going month to month in each category. That way, if there's a major change that we weren't expecting, it'll be, you know, kind of a little laid out better for you guys. Does anybody have any questions about any of those? If you notice that in July, there's not a figure for some revenue categories, you have to remember that sometimes the cash we collect in July is not always July's revenue. It belongs to June, and in some cases April and May, depending on, you know, if it's coming from the state in July and they're behind a couple of months sending us stuff, sometimes it gets moved to a different month. So if you may have that question in your head. I think that's all I have this time.
On the purchase order, I was
Yes, ma'am.
looking down the
Yes.
list of all the purchase orders. There was a purchase order in there for Christmas cards, $405. What was that all about?
That, and we may address that a little further when we get onto the resolution about bidding. That would be for each department to decide on how they order those things. Now, I know with the bid threshold resolution being thrown out there, this is a little hurtful, of course, I guess, but there is being proposed that we increase the bid threshold. And along with that, what we would like to implement is maybe looking at those, and I don't know that this would catch that $400 purchase, y'all may have different opinions on what amount we use. We were thinking maybe between $500 and $25,000 that we try and catch, making sure everybody's shopping around getting the best prices by requesting 3 quotes, or 3 prices to be presented to us before we issue those purchase orders.
Is this a common expense at Christmas time to buy Christmas
Yes,
cards?
we do have departments that will send out Christmas cards regularly every Christmas, and each department would make their own decision about where they choose to buy those. But it is a common thing for departments to send out.
Which, it said Sheriff's Department was what it was under the departments at Sheriff's Department. I just wondered, I thought that was kind of odd.
It's not an uncommon expense for some departments. Some departments do it. Anybody have any other questions?
Thank you, Ms. Davis. All right, we'll move on to committee reports, item number 10. Board of Zoning Appeals, Mayor, sometimes we do report on that. Budget compliance met on March 27th. Jay, you weren't there, but was on like give a report.
That's actually the one that we had before the last September meeting.
Okay.
All of these and that we covered the last. So, I think that was all will tax and budget on should tax in September, so.
Okay.
Through.
All right, and then the solid waste met previous to that, those minutes have already been put out. But I will update you, solid waste, they have started construction on the new cell, and it is going, with the lack of rain, that construction is going along really good, it's staying probably way ahead of schedule. All right, we'll move on to new business, and we have Bonnell down here for the 50th anniversary, but I don't see anybody here from Bonnell, and I think it's supposed to be. All right, item D is the committee appointments. You were handed over to Mrs. Klein when you came in. You'll see it's a condensed list, but we'll try to make it a little cleaner. There have been some changes in how I chose to move people around. We took budget and finance, for example, and we moved everyone off of there that was a county employee or had a job back to a county department. So that was something that we looked at there. You'll see the new committees, the sheriff's jailhouse, we pulled all the sheriff's department employees off those committees. EMS would be the same way. So my goal was to not have a county employee on those committees that they actually voted something on their side. That was the thinking there. And that's still true for education as well. Are there any other questions on those? I did create a new Parks and Recs community, but that's for the Crump Terrace, the soccer field areas in Lot 7. We took 4 commissioners and then 4 people that have dealings with those parks, coaches or maintenance of those parks, and you'll see there that their job will be to give a detailed list of what's needed in those parks for, to present to the full commission for that, and that way that budget is passed and approved out of there from that committee as well. Any other questions? If not, we will take a motion to approve those appointments.
So moved.
Yes, ma'am. I have a motion and a second to approve the appointments of the committees. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We will move on now to our resolutions. First 3 are budget amendment resolutions. We came with a positive recommendation out of budget and finance. If you want to vote on them and put them all together, we can do that, or we can put them out and vote on them separately. I think we'll move body.
Motion to approve all together.
I have a motion to approve all together.
Second.
Second, Eddie Newman. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, since this is coming. Stacy, will you roll call?
Shannon Green,
Yes.
Glenn Reese.
Yes.
Terry Gibbons,
Yes.
Billy Bass.
Yes.
Greta Kirby,
Yes.
Jason Stewart,
Yes.
Jimmy Winfrey,
Yes.
Daniel Cripps. Dalton Pascal,
Yes.
Shannon Beachy,
Yes.
Erica Eagle. Yes. Ron Schumate,
Yes.
Ron McCowen,
Yes.
Linda Nixon,
Yes.
Kobe McKinney,
Yes.
Charles Kent,
Yes.
Bill Reese,
Yes.
Tommy Vane,
Yes.
Joey Nixon,
Yes.
Dustin Dillahay,
Yes.
David Gross,
Yes.
Frank Woodard,
Yes.
All right, the next 2 items, 4 and 5, are our resolutions for the wheel tax. This is the second reading of those. When they were amended last time to include all motor vehicles on one and just cars and trucks on the other, we went to Ms. Clifton's office, and Mr. Steve did some research for us. And so you can kind of tell us how that's going to look on, if these pass, how that would look on your registration as far as, because it's kind of different since it's 2 different types of wheel taxes.
Okay. As you know, currently we have a $15 wheel tax that goes to the jail. That includes automobiles only. We understand there's a proposal for a $25 wheel tax to go to the highway department, which includes automobiles only. And the $25 wheel tax to go to the general fund. And that includes automobiles, motorcycles, and there's a few vehicles like a Gator or a Polaris or something like that, they're allowed to get on the road and they have tax. So we contacted our BIS. They're a company that provides software to all the county clerks throughout the state of Tennessee. They also provide software to the Department of Revenue Vehicle Services to get a handle on how is the best way to handle the wheel tax. And what they proposed on the, this is the registration form. I'm sorry y'all can't see it, but anyway, there's a county wheel tax in a block here. And what they proposed that we should do, there will be a $40 wheel tax in the county wheel tax block. That includes the jail and the highway department, because they're automobiles only. Okay? And this one was kind of odd, but we've got another $25 wheel tax that's going to the general fund. And since it includes motorcycles and automobiles, and you look at off-road vehicles, they suggest that we have to, or what they didn't suggest, they said we would have to put it in what is called the city wheel tax. Although it's not going to the city, that's the only place they can put it due to the way the software is designed. We asked them, could we change this city wheel tax to like additional wheel tax on the form? They said no. That is, this form is generated by the state of Tennessee. They will not allow any alterations to that form. And that's pretty much where it is.
Thank you, Mr. Steve. All right, so we go back, again, you've got, like you said, the first one, the general fund, and it includes all automobiles, motorcycles, and UTVs. And the other one is for the wheel tax for the highway fund, and it only just covers autos only. So, do we want to keep them as is, and, or you want to flip them, make them both consistent, or just pass as is? I'll throw that out there.
So it's not too late to change them?
Yes, and the meeting on second readings, what we're doing, and that's all you have, 2 readings of it, that's what we give consideration.
But we could, if we amended it tonight, it'd be done. We wouldn't have to have another reading. I don't like that, what he said about it saying the, city will tax. That's a can of worms you don't want to open.
Confusing.
Mr. Chairman, the wheel tax that we took off a year or so ago, didn't it include motorcycle?
Did it?
I think so. How does that handle with 2 different kinds?
Well, on that one, it was, I believe the time it was the school and the jail. And included in that, the motorcycles and the automobiles were included together. You know, they weren't 2 separate ones. They were motorcycles and automobiles. Basically what we did, it was a $65 wheel tax, and we took 15 divided by 65 was like 23%. So 23% of the total went to the, at that time it went to the jail, and the remainder went to the school.
Is the jail one still be considered, motorcycles as well on it?
At that time it was removed from the school.
Okay.
So now it's just, currently it's just automobile only.
I'm confused.
I'm right there with,
So,
Then we can see
yeah,
it.
Ford
We
was
don't.
just $65 wheel tax in that one block. And then, right. So, and now, since you got 2 separate ones, you've got to,
Right.
if we make them both the same, either or, they'll go in that same block, correct?
Well, them others were separate too. One of them, the
That's right.
school included the motorcycles and the jail did not.
That was my question.
At that time, both of them included motorcycles.
So, it's, so, how
Well,
did
it
you?
should also include it on the jail now then.
We haven't bothered the jail tax. We haven't done anything with it.
It should come on.
No, it's still on.
for motorcycles.
Shouldn't come on. That might be Brandon.
It may have been all just on the, of the school tax. I think it's that way.
Yeah, but you were collecting them both under the same.
I'm saying, yeah.
It's the same scenario that we have going forward as we had 2 years ago. Exactly.
But there wasn't 2 blocks, I mean, you had it all in the same block at that time, right?
Right. See,
So
on the 2 on the jail that you have now, in the highway department, they're only automobiles.
Well, the same way you had the last time. The last time jail was just automobiles and the school was both. was off.
We haven't
Well,
bothered
if-
the
if-
jail.
If the jail was both at that time, then the jail should still be both now.
Right.
Right, it's just a percentage that was done.
So if they pass the way they are, if the voters vote them in,
You
you
just
can't put them
have,
all in one block like it was before? Is that what you're saying?
I don't see the difference in what we're doing.
all you have to do is keep up with what taxes are on the other individual vehicles. And put it toward the, generally what they.
Same process, different percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just split them into percentages.
But when you do your percentages, if you put them all in one, your motorcycle's gonna be distributed out to all three of them.
I
Well,
don't understand why did we, I can't remember exactly what happened at the last meeting, but why did we separate one and not the other? Was there reasoning behind that?
Passed the amendment on the first one to add the motorcycles and UTVs, and the second one, it did not pass with amendment to add those two types of vehicles.
So never amendment made to it to add motorcycle to.
That makes a lot of sense.
You can do it now. You can add them back, take them away.
you still don't have it on the jail part.
Right. You don't have a motorcycle on the jail.
Didn't have a motorcycle on jail when school was in.
Right.
And, I mean, I think what he's trying to explain is where the school parks took off, it was for motorcycles and automobiles.
Mhm.
Where the other one was just for automobiles. So, it was taken off, I can see both sides of it here. So whenever that 50 was come off, I mean, it just knocked that one down to the 22 on the motorcycle. But I see what you're talking about, how it had the wheel tax on that one too.
You just have to keep up with the amount or the number of taxes that you do on motorcycles and ATVs and others that are not automobiles. And it would just go to the general fund.
Same process, right?
It wouldn't be broken up in percentages that way.
Different line, same process.
Depending on, yeah. Yes, sir, Mr. Gross.
I think during the last meeting, Mr. Beller addressed this, that anything that falls under Tennessee Code annotated that is required a tag, that we would put a wheel tax on that tag. That being ATVs, scooters, motorcycles, whatever.
That's for the general fund, $25, but we didn't do it for the $25 for the road department.
It was amended, the first one for the general fund, the 3-year cap was amended to include what you just said. But when they come time for the next resolution, it didn't get amended. It went through as with just for automobiles.
It could be amended tonight.
But it can be amended tonight, yes. 'Cause that's what I'd rather say.
I make a motion we do that we add the motorcycles to the $25 wheel tax for the roads. I think that would be the simplest way to get around this.
I second that. Anything that requires a registration, it pays a wheel tax.
That's what we, yeah, PCA, Program PCA. So I have a motion from Mr. Jimmy to make both of the same, and a second by
I second.
Ron, that's the first one I called. So I have a motion and a second to amend, that will be the highway one, which is number 5, to include all motorized vehicles covered by PCA.
Right.
Better, that correct statement? Aren't you, Matt? All right, I have a motion and a second to add that amendment to these. All right, any discussion? All right, so we'll do a roll call on this amendment. This is just to amend that, you're not passing the resolution, you're just amending the resolution, to make sure you don't get confusing again.
Shane Green,
Yes.
Glenn Reese,
Yes.
Terry Gibbons,
Yes.
Billy Bass,
Yes.
Grady Kirby,
Yes.
Jason Stewart,
Yes.
Jimmy Winfrey,
Yes.
Daniel Cripps, Don Haskell,
Yes.
Shannon Minchie,
Yes.
Erica Ebel,
No.
Ron Schumay,
Yes.
Ron Cowan,
Yes.
Linda Nixon,
Yes.
Toby McKinney,
Yes.
Charles Kent,
Yes.
Bill Reese,
Yes.
Tommy Vane,
Yes.
Joey Nixon,
Yes.
Justin Delahaye,
Yes.
David Gross,
Yes.
Frank Woodard,
21, 4. All right, so that motion passes. That amendment is made to the wheel tax for the highway fund number 5. So, all right, so we will now go to the resolutions and pass them on their second readings. And what this does is passing these tonight sends these directly to referendum in March during the, so the voters will have an opportunity to vote for, if these are passed, you will have an opportunity to vote for a $25 wheel tax to go to the highway fund and a $25 wheel tax to go to the general fund to reduce property tax rates. Just to make sure everybody's clear, we are not imposing a wheel tax tonight on, at all. We are sending this straight to referendum. That's, I want to make sure everybody's clear on that. So item number 5, resolution wheel tax for highway funds, second reading, 10/2019-05. I will take it. Oh, I forgot, I missed that. Number 4, sorry, resolution number 4 is wheel tax for the general fund on the second reading, 10/2019-04.
Make a motion to approve the second reading of resolution 4.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
I've got a question on that one.
Yes, sir.
Have this, we come up with for sure set in stone that if this passes, that the property tax rate will come down? If it passes, the property tax is coming down.
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what that number is yet, because we don't know, but yes, the goal is to bring that property tax down with this passage of this resolution. Or give the people that opportunity, yes. If it passes, we will decrease that property tax by what we see that being that number, whatever that forecast that number looks like. Any other discussion?
I'll bring it up again.
Okay.
We gotta sell it. As commissioners, we've got to sell it. We're in October meeting. November and January, we need to get together as commissioners and talk about running an ad in the paper or, publicly committing to, that if this passes, that we will vote for a reduction in the property tax next June. And that, we need to come together as commissioners privately, no county money to do that. But otherwise, it ain't gonna pass. I mean, we've got to sell it. That's all I got to say about that.
So you're saying we need to manipulate the voters? Because if we put it in the voters' hands, they'll decide.
Well, that wasn't a very good word to use, but.
Well, when you say sale, that's what it sounds like to the.
Yeah,
you're
well, that's
saying.
what we need to do. I mean, because the thing about it, as commissioners, if we don't vow to our constituents that we will vote to reduce the property tax by whatever amount is brought in by this wheel tax, then the voters will not vote for the,
Wasn't that what the mayor just said? That's what you just asked the mayor, that it would come down?
no, he said that's our goal.
Yeah.
Just because that's our goal doesn't mean that every voter knows that that's our goal. So we have to let them know that it's our goal. We can't just sit here on our hands and pretend like they can read our mind. So we need to,
But they're gonna have to know how much.
Exactly.
well, we don't know. Because the thing about it is, we may be able to lower it more than what this wheel tax will bring in.
But we don't know.
Well, we don't know.
We don't know, and
That's
so.
the-
We don't
They don't
know exactly what this wheel tax is gonna bring in.
Yeah, probably won't pass anyhow. is my own personal opinion.
Well, I mean, I hope it does, because I want my property tax
Well,
lowered.
just because we can't guarantee exactly how much, we can lower it, I think that that's going to be the problem. I
Well, that's why you, as a commissioner,
don't see it happening.
need to sell it to your constituents. You need to tell your constituents that you will vote to lower their property tax by that amount, whatever that amount is, because we don't know how much is going to be collected yet.
You won't know for a full year afterwards. You're gonna have to make a guesstimate come June. as to
We
what
can have a
that'll
pretty
be.
good guess, really.
Well, that's true.
I mean, we can have a pretty
That's
good
why I'm
guess.
saying,
Yeah,
It's gonna be roughly, I mean,
It's a dime, 12 cents.
Property.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Still roughly be a $500,000 property tax. Don't know what penny value's gonna be. That's the part you can't say how many pennies.
Yeah.
Let me say something.
About $500,000.
To me, it's simple to see how many registered vehicles is, and if this passes, then you times it times $25, and there's your figure of how much it's gonna bring in, then the amount that brings in is you justify then how much you can take off the property tax.
That's what you're looking at.
But the reason that we as constituents, or we as elected officials need to tell our constituents that we will do that, the whole purpose of me bringing that up is because we can't make it read that on the ballot. We can't do it. We had our attorney look into it, and it can't do that. So we have to tell the people that we will vote that way, because it can't read that way on the ballot. Mayor, I call for a vote.
That $25 is somewhere in, on today's penny value, is somewhere between 10 to 12 and a half cents is what we're looking at. That's how much that $25 is going to bring in.
Reducing the property tax 10 to 12 cents.
Yes. Now that's based on today's penny value. We will know more once that penny value said. It could be, if penny value goes up, it could be more.
So it'll be going from like 273 to down to 260.
Correct. Somewhere in that range, yes.
And, you know, sitting on budget committee, I hope that we can possibly lower it more than that, because we're being very frugal with our money.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm hoping that, you know, things are implemented and the mayor's done, that to save money, that we can lower it more than that.
Eugene's got a bullet for me, I'm pretty sure.
If our revenue does too, we can lower the property tax that much more too, can't we?
That's
If
right.
our revenue goes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole lot of factors, then we just one simple factor.
No, the wheel tax is somewhere in the 10 to 12 cent range, depending on what the penny value is. But like I said, yes, if our ambulance revenues look like they're going to stay up high, and our prisoner board goes up, and that's, you know, all that's things that we'll be able to adjust down as well. This is on number 4 for the Jennifer. And again, that's a 3-year cap on that. Just remember, I don't know if you ever remember that, it's a 3-year cap. All right. Roll call, Stacy.
Shannon Green,
Yes.
Lee Reese,
Yes.
Terry Gibbons,
Yes.
Billy Bass,
Yes.
Greta Kirby,
Yes.
Jason Stewart,
Yes.
Jimmy Winfrey,
Yes.
Daniel Cripps,
Yes.
Dalton Pascal,
Yes.
Shannon Michie,
Yes.
Erica Eagle,
Yes.
Ron Schumake,
Yes.
Ron Callen,
Yes.
Linda Nixon,
Yes.
Kobe McKinney,
Yes.
Charles Kent,
Yes.
Bill Reese,
Yes.
Tommy Bain,
Yes.
Joey Nixon,
Yes.
Dustin Dillahay,
Yes.
David Gross,
Yes.
Frank Woodard,
Yes.
Resolution, wheel tax for highway funds, second reading, 10-2019-05. And they've been amended, they're all the same, and this is a $25 wheel tax going to the highway.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. There you go, motion second. All right, I have a motion and a second, any discussion on this?
Just to clarify, it's a highway capital projects.
Yes.
Fund.
And it's a 10-year cap, right?
Yes. Any other discussion? All right. Roll call, please.
Shannon Green,
Yes.
Glenn Reese,
Yes.
Terry Givens,
Yes.
Billy Bass,
Yes.
Greta Kirby,
Yes.
Jason Stewart,
Yes.
Jimmy Winfrey,
Yes.
Daniel Cripps,
Yes.
Dalton Haskell,
Yes.
Shannon Minchie,
Yes.
Erica Eagle,
Yes.
Ron Schumate,
Yes.
Ron Callen,
Yes.
Linda Nixon,
Yes.
Toby McKinney,
Yes.
Charles Kent,
Yes.
Bill Reese,
Yes.
Tommy Vane,
Yes.
Joey Nixon,
Yes.
Justin Delahaye,
Yes.
David Gross,
Yes.
Frank Woodard,
Yes.
Passes unanimously as well. All right, so in March, the voters of Smith County will have an opportunity to vote on 2 separate wheel taxes. All right, item number 6 is a resolution to increase the bid threshold, and it is item number 2019-06. And what it is it brings our bidding procedures and thresholds in line with the 57 Act. And the 57 Act was passed, what, 2 years ago, I think it was? This was the part that didn't get adopted at that time when we were going to that. And what this does is it increases the public bid threshold to $25,000. Anything after over $25,000 has to be sealed bids and bid opening and all that. Anything from $10,000 to $25,000 will require 3 quotes. They must be on a company letterhead. They can't just be Jimmy wrote down, says it's gonna cost me $9,000 or $11,000 to fix it. It has to be an official quote so that it can be documented and saved in that file. Anything under $10,000, we are working on a procedure for that, and it's probably gonna be somewhere in that 200 to 500 range. Anything below 200, we'll be able to, with just one price, anything from 500 to 200 to 9,999 will require 3 prices. You will have to have 3 prices in order to buy that. And that's what this resolution is.
You spoke to some other counties.
I spoke, Montgomery County, who is one of the ones that we looked at on the centralized purchasing, and something that we're trying to implement in times as we go. It's not something we're doing in immediately, because it's kind of a shocking system that we're doing. It's going to create a little more paperwork on the purchaser and the purchase order person both. So we're working slowly, and one of the people, I went and met with Montgomery County and Clarksville, and they're 57 Act, and they do it this way as well. And there's some other changes that they do, where we will start handling our procedures as well with that, on those things, and how we do our bids on some maintenance items such as that. We're looking at how we do our, bidding, how we bid our car maintenance and fleet maintenance and such as that, and any other things like that. That's something we're working on. But again, all this does is it changes our bid threshold. Or sometimes Steve can speak to this, there might be something that he needs today for $11,000, and he's got to wait for a whole run of the Carthage Courier and all the public notice and then the bids, and he may miss out on the deal. I know he missed out on some deals in the past on that, when you could have got some equipment at a pretty good price. So that helps in that. Again, you still got to get 3 written quotes, so there's no, you can't just buy what you want for $10,000. You still got to go through a process of getting 3 written quotes on company letterheads.
About the 200 to the 9,999, is that written quotes too, or?
Written quotes, yes. So there'll be well, that's something we're working through in the procedures. We haven't nailed that process for yet, Daisy.
I think, we'll have to set something in there that would be maybe another range, small dollar range, where maybe people could shop around and show proof of prices with other places rather than requiring written. That would be a lot. But that's something that, I feel like maybe the Budget and Finance Committee can be involved in having some input on how those procedures are set up. That's the first one, that.
A question on that, Mr. Mayor. On this, from $200 to $9,900, is this going to be every time, like you need a set of tires, or is this bid gonna be good for 6 months, 90 days?
So that's what we're getting to.
Or whatever.
We're gonna, what they said they did in another county is they did those tires and oil changes and all that stuff on 6-month bids. So they would bid that for 6 months, whoever got that bid, they would be basically, go back to what we used to have, the monthly POs, and they would be able to go do, fix a tire, get tires at the best price, and then every 6 months you would bid that again. And we've also looked at bringing our maintenance back in-house and starting our own county garage. We talked about that, so we're still in the process, and we haven't really dug into that, see what those costs and how that's gonna shake out, but there's lots of things that we're looking at on that end to try to change and make us more efficient and make sure we're getting the best deals for our taxpayers.
That's what I was getting at, because I mean, every time these guys need a set of tires or something, time you get 3 bids or whatever,
Exactly. The common sense has to come into that play.
That's too repetitious or whatever, the bids ought to be good for at least 90 days, 6 months or whatever.
That's kind of what we're working towards, on those big ticket items that we do every month.
Well, Mayor, I know David's familiar with that, the tires we get are on state bid, they're already bid anyway.
Right.
But is there gonna be a provision in that to cover on the state bid side?
Yeah, I would think anything that would be
State
covered
bid.
under a state bid is going to be automatically,
Automatic.
Okay.
as long as we have documentation of that, that would provide.
And there's a ton of stuff that we purchase on state bid.
So I have a question about, it says, whereas Smith County has a centralized purchasing authority and full-time purchasing agent, is that, we have those in place?
It's actually Daisy right now. She is considered as the budget finance director. She is also the purchasing agent, full-time purchasing agent. Depending on how this works out and how this goes, we may end up, if we go to a store type deal where we buy supplies and keep them in a storehouse and, managing those bids, we may have to move someone into that role of full-time purchasing. We're trying not to go that route right now, but we may have to go there if the workload goes that way.
So it's a possibility that we would have to create a new position in order to go this route?
I don't think so. No, it's not really gonna change anything unless we go to like a storehouse and start doing deliveries and like that. Montgomery County, when I mentioned them, they had one big room where they stored office supplies, they did their own printing, they did their own stationery, those kind of things. But no, right now, no, we don't see a need to add another person. Don't want to add another person because of that, for the situation where we're at.
What are our current parameters, like?
Anything over $10,000 had to be public, had to go to public bid, meaning they had to be ran in, advertised in the paper, they had, public notice.
Another thing you gotta consider is advertising cost savings.
Right,
You gotta pay per column inch
right,
to run those notices.
right. So, and then those bids would come in, we'd have a bid opening, 9 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, everybody comes in, you open the bids, forms, and we'll still have to do that on anything over 25,000. Now it's kind of in line with how private side does it, they have their three quotes, their own official letterheads.
How long did you say it's been 10,000?
Gosh.
Before my time.
So 20 plus years?
Yeah, the $10,000 don't buy as much as it.
Yeah, I was just saying, I wonder what the cost of living increase is in 20 years.
I mean, Steve can speak to that, the stuff that cost $10,000 or $15,000 back then costs $22,000 a day.
You should buy over 70 cents a gallon, 20 cents a gallon, 20 years later.
Are we gonna have somewhere to put all this stuff that if we have a room or?
See,
This
another issue we
resolution-
got there yet.
Yeah, this is not a centralized person.
No, this is just increasing the bid threshold.
I make a motion, we approve resolution 10-29.
That's been Kobe, Steve's got it. Have a question?
I don't know about the other departments, but we bid our tiles, our cars, we bid everything about a year. That's what we bid. So So we know all year long what ours is about.
And that's kind of what we're gonna go with. But that's something you use every day, all day. That's kind of how
Ours is
we're,
over there.
and that's kind of how we're doing on our, some of our maintenance items.
What if it's something that you can't get 3 quotes on? Like, 3 quotes don't come back?
There's a sole source, it's called sole source exception. So if you have something that's maybe not produced by multiple suppliers, that there's an exception for that.
So that would that fall behind the seal that, well, it doesn't matter.
If it was, say a department came in and they said they could not, I would need to research that and make sure that they had given me all the documentation that they could.
But that you still have kind of like control.
Yes,
All
yes,
purchasing
yes,
still.
no, we are, every
This
person.
isn't loosening reins of purchasing at all.
It's actually putting more procedures on them to be able to obtain, to make sure that every department is shopping around and getting the best possible price they can.
Yes, sir.
If using co-op as an example, if we're paying $12 per tire to have tires mounted, it's $48. And we get a 3-month bid on that. And that's gonna cost us $500, say, for 3 months. And Rose Tires in Lebanon says, I'll do that for $485. Are we gonna drive to Lebanon?
No, we're not gonna do that. You have to, common sense, we have to come in.
Yes, sir, okay.
Yeah,
We
we
would
would,
use the lowest and best rule is the way it's referred to. It needs to be the lowest price, but it also needs to be the best situation and best
And we need to
product.
keep as much money in the county as we can.
that's what I want, you know, when I worked in manufacturing, there was, and we sold the Volkswagen, they had different, and I don't even know, we probably can't do this as a government, but if you were Chattanooga business, you got an automatic 10% bonus. If you were Tennessee, you got a bonus. If, you know, so somebody, you know, that helped you, that kept the local people more involved in the process. That way you just couldn't get it gone out of the water from somebody else. Yes, sir.
The highway department spends all their revenue in Smith County. We trade in Smith County. We put the money back in Smith County. The only people that we don't trade with is us and oil producer. It's not no air simple. But we try to keep all of our money right here in the county.
And everybody, and most everybody does.
So I get the time savings, yes, and then you said cost savings. We lose out on certain deals because there's like a time limit on them. And advertising, is there what other cost savings?
And just the time of coming in doing a sealed bid opening, you know, that takes away Daisy and Ginger and that department head, because he's got to crack it how many times you come in and do, you know, when we have open bid, Steve, you come, you know, just those times. It's just an easier process.
It's an easier process, but you're not loosening the reins on it.
No, they still, every purchase order has to go through either my signature or Daisy's signature, and it has to have the documentation to go along with it. No. There'll be, like I said, no. No department head can write their own POs. Everything has to go through our office.
But it also keeps you from, if you've got a buddy selling the same product for 1,000 and that you can get it for 500, now you got your proof where in times past, you just go buy your buddy for 1,000 just because it's your buddy giving him business.
Correct.
It also correct that situation too.
Correct. I think Montgomery County said they've been doing it for 25 years, and they absolutely works so much better for them.
But I mean, you gotta save money sometime.
Yeah. Any other discussion? All right. I would take a motion to approve resolution 2019-06.
So moved.
Motion by Kobe, second by Joey. All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Take a roll call, Stacy.
Channing Green,
Yes.
Lee Reese,
Yes.
Terry Gibbons,
Yes.
Billy Bass,
Yes.
Greta Kirby,
Yes.
Jason Stewart,
Yes.
Jimmy Winfrey,
Yes.
Daniel Cripps.
Yeah.
Dalton Pascal.
Yes.
Shannon Minchie.
Yes.
Erica Eagle.
Yes.
Ron Schumate.
Yes.
Ron Cowan.
Yes.
Linda Nixon.
Yes.
Toby McKee.
Yes.
Charles Kent.
Yes.
Bill Reese.
Yes.
Tommy Vane.
Yes.
Joey Nixon.
Yes.
Dustin Dillahay.
Yes.
David Gross.
Yes.
Frank Woodard.
Yeah.
Passes unanimous. All right, item E is our notararies. We take a motion to approve those. So we do
Second.
Second, Shannon. I have a motion to second. Any discussion on the notaries? If not, all those in favor? Opposed? Any other business? We will be probably, yes, sir.
Could I let the commissioner know what the county has done in the first quarter? We have taken the revenue for the first quarter. Give me 1 second. These are brand new roads. Barnett's Campground, Guinea's Branch, Gill's Branch, Slatton, Hickman Road, north and south, Hilltop Circle, Ward Lancaster, Preston Hollow. There's 8 brand new roads in the county, and we went to Dyer's Branch and picked the paper up and down and did only the bad spots. We'll do the same thing with Pigeon Roost tomorrow, and we have striped 8.1 miles of Cuss Springs Road. And confirm, if you would, we saved $38,000 last month. Error, savings account. Right? In our fund balance. We better put $38,000 more dollars in there.
You get at the last budget finance meeting, you told about, I think it was FEMA was here.
Yes, sir.
Looking at roads. Any update on that situation?
Yes, sir. They're coming back. The 16th, just to meet with me and Daisy. I'm going to say they looked at least 150 roads. There was nothing that I asked them to write up, they didn't. They written up everything from bridges to road servicing to shot rocks on the creek stabilization. If it does go for us, it would definitely be the way that the north side of the county gets rebuilt quickly. And a lot of the south side built, the north side takes most of the damage in the water. But FEMA has been really, really well. I don't know the numbers because they haven't presented them to us yet. They will the 16th. That's all over at FEMA. The other thing you all have to do is go buy a vehicle. We did write a check card and pay for it, and it's supposed to be here this week. It's a snow truck, actually, 4-wheeler.
And he did pay cash for that and did borrow money. He had approval to borrow money, and we looked at his
I appreciate y'all.
when we looked at his cash, and he decided to buy out cash payments. Yes, and FEMA will be here. We'll have a better knowing Wednesday, Steve, on FEMA, what roads get approved. Any other business? Yes, sir, Mr. Ron.
In March, when we vote for the wheel tax, if it doesn't pass, what would be our next option to do to try to get a wheel tax? When could we do that?
I never see it.
What would be our next option? I guess would be try to pass it through here and just to put it on and see if it gets petitioned.
When would that be though?
March. It's not for you.
Oh,
Fails in March, Brandon, we come back.
You've got to have 2 readings at regular meetings consecutive to one another, so fails in March, look at April and May coming back, possibly, maybe May and June, if that's the will to provide.
We've got public that have 60 days to petition.
That's correct, they can pull it under that petition, but 10% voted in the last gubernatorial election, proper petition, and then they can pull it and set it for referendum again, so there's a lot of issues there.
They did
cause a special cause of election, from my understanding, because there would be a general and the county would have to pay the bill at that point. That's correct.
You see, you put it back on the August. November presidential.
It has to be within so many days, I think, Billy. Don't that if we have to have an election, don't it have to be within so many days?
If they petition, I think you have to call a special call.
You're asking me to answer a question, but I don't know what the numbers are off the top of my head.
I'm pretty sure when we were discussing that,
45 days.
yeah, I guess we could wait until within 45 days of that as a,
I don't think the county needs to pay for a special election.
I can just tell you this, if it don't pass referendum, I ain't voting for it. Well, I know I should have probably brought this up during announcements, and it may not be appropriate because it's not on the agenda, but I want to invite everybody, the town of Warrensville is partnering with the Southside Lions Club and Bass Funeral Home and First Baptist Church to have Warrensville Halloween Bash. And the reason I wanted to bring it up is because we've got approval from TDOT to shut down Main Street in Warrensville. So I wanted to bring that up in this forum, that hopefully if people are traveling through Warrensville on Halloween night, that you know that Main Street will be shut down from ShopRite to the high school, and that there will be a detour in place to go down Hickman Road, Oak Street, and then Maple to come up behind the high school. But just wanted to bring that up and invite everybody to come, but it'll be something Warrensville's never done before. It's shut down Main Street, and people that live on that side of the county, just to let them know.
Thank you, yeah, lot going on that across the county. Any other business? Yes, sir, Mr. Gross.
Like everybody know, November the 9th at the Ag Center, Smith County Humane Society will be set up. We'll be having fish fry starting at 4:30 p.m. until fish runs out or whatever. And it'll be on a Saturday, November 9th.
Jim?
Yes, sir.
So, I want to give a lot of my credit to Daisy Denton right here. And her work well together, and we've got a routine. I may sure tell you, I predict them what the highway department will do a month at a time. Unless a disaster happens, it's the only time it changes. And that's when I've been able to put Daisy, I don't know if they, Daisy and I are agreeing together. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Ask for any other business. But I was gonna say, we will be getting in touch with you soon on youth committee meeting, get those started. Foster kids auction, fish fry, Saturday night at 4, feast starts at 4, auction starts at 5. There's some good stuff for the auction also. Now, any other business?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, Don. All right. Motion to adjourn in a second. All those in favor?